The tragedy in the Deep South. Names and photos of the victims from Sunday's deadly storms are now being released. We take you there again this morning. A police officer in Texas was shot and killed yesterday after reportedly being mistaken for a burglar. And a new visitor center had an open house yesterday in Clay County. We will tell you the big goal of the new center.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning. It is 6 o'clock on the dot on Wednesday, March the 6th. I'm Will Puckett. Thank you for tuning in to Mountain News This Morning. Well, if you're heading out the door, throw on maybe two jackets because it's chilly. Not yet dangerously chilly, but it's still pretty cold, so you're going to want an extra layer or two. But as Brandon's going to tell us, there's hope for the future this week as temperatures are to go up. But for today, it's going to be cold.
Yeah, not so much relief today. Even though with the full-on sunshine later on today, it's not going to bring us much warmth. We take a look at the cameras this morning, starting with the US 119 camera up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain. It looks like some of that snow actually stuck to the road up there. So if you're traveling in the higher elevations this morning, be careful of that. It looks like it started to kind of back off a little bit. Maybe they've been treating the roads up there a little bit overnight. But again, you can see the lanes starting to show back up there. Temperatures cold and getting colder. 13 now Jackson, 14 Pikeville, Logan, Wise, 18 here in Hazard, 16 Prestonsburg, London, and Somerset, along with Williamsburg. 19 Middlesboro is the warm spot when you factor in those winds. Absolutely frigid, single digits, and it's going to get to 32 today, which is basically right there around freezing. But again, just remember, it's not going to be a whole lot of warmth. I'll have the rest of the forecast coming up here in just a few minutes.
Just keep those families in your prayers. There's one family in there. It was by marriage. They're connected, and there are over 7 people this man lost in one family. So it's a tragic situation.
This morning, we can share more of the names and faces of those lost in a devastating tornado in Alabama. Of the 23 who were killed, 4 were children. The youngest was 6. AJ Hernandez was ripped from his father's arms 2 days after singing in his school musical. David Dean, nicknamed Road Dog, texted a friend that the storm was coming. Dean's son found his father's body in a neighbor's yard. Sheila Creech and Marshall Grimes were recently engaged in camping in Beauregard when the tornado took them. More than 48 hours later, some are still unaccounted for. Omar Villafranca is there.
Did you feel it move?
Oh, yeah. I felt it.
Alina Smith and her 2 children took cover in the bathroom moments before an EF4 tornado with 170-mile-per-hour winds tore through their neighborhood.
I just said my prayers, and I felt in that moment I was just at peace that we were getting ready to go.
You thought that was it?
That was it.
The storm killed 23, including 7 from the same family, all related to her boyfriend. 2 houses down, 63-year-old Raymond Robinson Jr. and his wife Teresa were killed when the tornado leveled their home. Across the street, first responders found the body of 57-year-old Maggie Robinson.
What is it like knowing that you had people pass over here, but you guys were able to survive here?
Right.
What is that like?
It's mind-blowing. I'm still in shock.
Search and rescue crews are still looking for people who are missing, but instead of a wide area, they're going to individual addresses and sifting through the debris, trying to find people who family members say are still missing.
Lee County Sheriff Jay Jones.
At this point, the current number we're looking at is approximately 7 to 8 people. Has come down, way down actually, from what we initially had.
It will take months for Beauregard residents to recover from something many say they'll never forget.
Is this neighborhood ever going to be the same?
No, it'll never be the same.
What do you do?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
The tornado was so powerful, the only thing left of Maggie Robinson's home is the front porch and some of the foundation. President Trump is expected to come and visit the tornado victims on Friday. Omar Villafranca, CBS News, Beauregard, Alabama.
Well, back here at home, Clay County had an open house for its new visitor center yesterday. Stay in Clay teamed up with the city of Manchester and opened the center. The Manchester Square Shopping Center donated the room for the project. Stay in Clay hopes this center will bring more tourism to the area.
And we just want to encourage people to come out and think positive about Clay County. I'm done with negatives, you know? Time to forget about the negatives of the past. It's time to move on to the positives of Clay County's future.
You can find more information about the center on our website at WYMT.com. Well, it's been a project in the works for nearly 5 years. The Appalachian Wildlife Center, an 80,000 square foot building with a view unlike any other. Here's some drone video sent to us by Brian O'Brien that he took in the summer of last year. There you can see some wild elk roaming. It sits atop reclaimed mine land in Bell County, and yesterday construction officially kicked off. WYMT's Connor James takes us to the scenic site and gives us a little elk tour of his own.
They call this the Bridge to Nowhere.
Yeah.
The name for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But sometimes nowhere is where the most amazing views are.
This is, I almost got emotional when I came up this morning.
And this nowhere,
we're really happy,
is David Ledford's Somewhere.
It's just a spectacular scenery. It's fantastic.
A longtime dream of his. In about 20 months, this site will be home to the Appalachian Wildlife Center. A reality ready to be made by David Jackson.
It's a 80,000 square foot, two-story building.
He's tasked with building the site.
We're confident in 18 to 20 months it'll be ready for the visitors to be here.
Something Tammy Nazario,
it's going to have a huge job impact,
who's still awed by this view, looks forward to.
Absolutely. When you drive into here, it's like a whole new world. It's one of the most beautiful places I think we have here in eastern Kentucky.
Not to mention the wildlife.
244 elk to the site, and that's been a huge accomplishment.
So I decided to go out and experience the area. The natural explorer in me wanted to see it. And I guess you could say I was pretty determined to see my first herd of wild elk. I didn't think I'd have any luck. I saw a couple deer, but then... Look at them. Oh, there's easily 25, 30 of them. Yeah, I know my hair is a little bit of a mess there, but taking the brief moments to just witness the majestic nature of, well, nature is what I'm told this place is all about.
I'm just almost speechless about the whole thing.
And now that construction is underway.
Oh, yeah, we're here.
Soon thousands more will be able to feel that same feeling I just felt. That's a whole herd of elk out there. In Bell County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
He comes up with some of the most creative stuff, I'll tell you what. Now, if all goes as planned, the center will open its doors to the public in June of 2021. They hope by the third year to see nearly 800,000 people visit the site. Well, a police officer in Texas was shot and killed yesterday after reportedly being mistaken for a burglar. Officials say Officer Nathan Heidelberg responded to a burglary alarm, but when he walked into a home, officials say the homeowner thought Heidelberg was breaking in and opened fire. The officer was struck and he later died in the hospital. The homeowner, David Wilson, was arrested and charged with manslaughter. Meanwhile, police in Missouri are investigating a deadly shooting involving a United States Marshal. This shooting happened in the parking lot of the Old Town Center shopping plaza in Springfield yesterday morning. According to the U.S. Marshal's office, officers were there to arrest a man wanted on federal drug charges. They say when approached, the suspect pulled out a weapon, and that's when a deputy with the Marshal's office shot him. And a firefighter died while fighting a house fire in Illinois last night. Authorities said 2 firefighters with the Godfrey Protection District were injured when part of the house collapsed. Captain Jake Reingering died from his injuries. Luke Warner was taken to a hospital and is in stable condition this morning. 2 firefighters with other departments were treated and released. Well, a Kentucky man faces charges after troopers in Mingo County said he assaulted a man at a bar. It happened on December 22nd at the Grill in Williamson. Joseph Burton was arrested Monday night by Kentucky State Police and extradited to West Virginia. Burton is charged with malicious assault and conspiracy. The victim is said to be doing okay. Well, a man is behind bars after he allegedly held a knife to a Walmart employee's neck yesterday morning. It all happened in Laurel County. 23-year-old Brad Lovett is accused of fighting a Walmart supervisor. When an employee came to break it up, police say Lovett drew a knife and put it to their neck. He fled but was later captured. Lovett was transported to the Laurel County Detention Center. Well, the trial of a man accused of murdering a former Everts mayor has had a change of venue. Shelby Shell's murder trial was originally set to begin yesterday in Harlan Circuit Court. It will now be in Bell County Circuit Court starting tomorrow. Police say in February of 2013, Shell murdered Ronnie King, a former Everts mayor, and set his house on fire. In a jailhouse interview with WYMT just after his arrest, Shell claimed he was innocent.
Forecast features a little bit of winter weather again this morning as we are only 2 weeks from spring, but let's get into it and talk about what's going on right now. Winter weather advisory on for parts of Lee and Wise counties until 8 o'clock this morning, so just kind of keep that in mind if you're traveling into Southwest Virginia. Speaking of which, a little bit of snow starting to pile up on the roads up on top of US 119 overnight, but those are starting to clear off just a little bit now. Some slick spots possible in areas that did see snow overnight, so be careful of that. 13 Jackson, that's the cold spot. 19 in Middlesboro, that's the warm spot. That's relatively speaking. And we're seeing all the temperatures there, but in between that, we go into the feels like temperatures. It's cold, single digits in a lot of locations, so max warming needed on the coffee meter. And as we go through the daytime hours on the WYMT weather app, you'll see that sunshine will be back, but only about 32 for a daytime high. Will?
All righty, Brandon. Well, thank you for joining us on Mountain News this morning. More news is on your way. And you're not going to want to miss this. One family went above and beyond to build a snowman, and they've got some serious skills.
As hurricane season is fast approaching, experts say there's no indication they're slowing down this year. Coming up, how you can prepare.